So I'm Pete Brady, I was Youth President for 2010.
My name's Christiana Errington and I was Youth President 2010 to 2011.
So my name's Sam Taylor and I was Youth President 2011 to 2012.
My name's Hayley Moss and I was Youth President from 2012 to 13.
I'm Megan Thomas and I'm Youth President for 2014-15. I think the role of the Youth President is obviously to represent children and young people in the Methodist Church, to represent their views and their opinions, and then to get that voice and that opinion heard in the wider Methodist Church, but also in our communities and in the local church.
For me, being Youth President was about being somebody who would give a young person who maybe feels really isolated, give them value, give them some worth in the church, say to them that, actually you have something really important to offer.
I think it's important to have a figurehead for a group of people that can very easily become marginalised. Everyone thinks they know what young people want, but I think it's really important to have one person whose goal is to actually speak to those young people.
One of the things I found hard sometimes was you have to be the face of Methodist children and young people, and sometimes I'm not very sociable and I like my own space, but if you're at a meeting or a conference, and often these are over a weekend, you have to be that friendly person all the time because you're always representing children and young people. So I did find that pressure a bit difficult sometimes.
I think, if I'm honest, the Youth President role is a pretty steep learning curve, and anyone who does the role needs to, I think, embrace that and understand that it is all a learning curve. I've been really challenged in my time management and how I use that time effectively and to the best benefit, I guess, for children and young people. But yeah, like I said, it's also made me think about how I meet with God in every day and how I view Him and where I see Him working, I guess, in people's lives.
I think there's some really difficult people you have to deal with, some people who don't necessarily see children's and youth participation as something that is as important as you maybe think it is. And so trying to deal with them, trying to encourage them and support them to kind of come to a different way of thinking is really hard. A lot of the times it feels like you're banging your head against a brick wall a bit because you're having to say the same thing over and over again.
I think the struggle that I had at conference really was the year as my youth press term, we had our budget cut significantly. A really hard time to kind of take away because I kind of walked away at the time, done everything that I could in conference, but you kind of walk away feeling like a bit of a failure, like have I just let down the young people of the church? And I think that's one of the downsides to the role, because if you feel for the role and you're that invested in it, it hurts when something like that happens.
You spend your whole year giving out and you don't necessarily take enough time to receive from God to kind of fuel your own discipleship and things like that. Actually, I felt really far from God and really like God wasn't doing anything for me, like God was doing everything for everyone else.
Feel a little bit like you're dropped into the deep end as a young person, going into a role where everyone knows what their specific role is, and for you to go in and to be a bit unsure can be quite challenging. That could be quite difficult. Sometimes it was tough to maybe not quite be myself in certain situations, maybe choosing when to speak up on certain things, as well as choosing when to actually be silent and listen to other people, has been really interesting. I find sustaining my faith really difficult, actually. I find it really hard, and I didn't think I would. Because of the role that you're in, I think people expect you to have all your faith stuff together, but actually it's challenged me more than I ever thought it was going to.
It's trying to get the engagement with the senior members of the church. They want youth work and they want to do it. They want to get young people involved, but they want to do it on their terms, in their way. And I think trying to get the church to change towards where young people are actively involved and engaged is something we've still not quite achieved.
I think I didn't expect it to take as much time as it did. That sounds really funny, but things like not being able to go to my own church every week, not being able to kind of stick with my volunteering stuff I was doing every week at my local youth club, that kind of thing actually took me aback quite a lot, and I really missed that, and I didn't notice how much I'd missed that. So that was a real struggle, actually, to not be able to be part of those communities and that family in the same way that I was before.
I guess some of the things that I didn't expect from the role was maybe that maybe I wouldn't be travelling as much, but actually you do quite a lot of travelling in the role.
It's quite scary at times. I don't think I realised how many meetings I would be going to.
I had to hit the floor running whilst trying to balance budget and trying to make sure we had the time in with the ops and getting out trying to visit. And that was one of the more challenging aspects for me, trying to do everything that we wanted to do, but doing what we were able to do.
There is no other job like it, and I don't think there ever will be another job that I encounter that reaches so many people. I just think it's a really special job and is unique.
Rewarding but challenging role. It's still one of my fondest memories.
Being youth president was the most amazing year of my life, the most fantastic opportunities to travel, to meet young people, to use my skills and be really encouraged in that and feel a really valued part of the church.
It was a very defining moment in my life, and I learnt a lot and I met so many people, and I got opportunities from that year that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So I think I would definitely recommend that people put themselves forward for it if they think that that's what God's calling them to.